A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
It's time for round number 3 of the Dirt 200 special, and we are Dirt Trackin here tonight. It's the Dirt Trackin 75, live from the long departed USA International down in Lakeland, Florida. We say hello from the middle of an Amazon warehouse in real time as we get ready for 75 laps around the biggest track on the schedule for Season 1 of the Dirt 200 Special. Welcome aboard, everybody. My name is Tommy Cook, and I've got a special guest with us here this evening to kick off the evening. Long-time viewer, first-time caller, Bailey Matichek is in booth 200. Welcome and hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am awesome. I'm a lot better now as well. Thank you for joining us here this evening. You get to watch Joshua race a lot on this channel. You also have the privilege of watching him race in real life whenever he gets the chance to. Is it less stressful to be racing in the virtual sense than it is in real life?
Honestly, no. Either way, it's like, no matter if it's in person or if it's virtual, it's the same exact stress. Because I will watch on the live stream and I'm like, what are, like, I will sometimes call him a dummy for some things that he does. And it's the same way in real life.
Well, I can guarantee you this. There are some drivers that probably call him a dummy as well. So you're not alone in that sense. But he looked awfully good last week. And I would argue with 15 drivers here tonight, even though he has to go to the back of his heat race, he'll be the odds-on favorite to take the victory here this evening. But that does not mean it is going to be easy. Qualifying is underway, and already the boss man, the Schloss boss, as Hayden Palumbo called him last week, Matt Schlosser, has looped it. He's headed back to the pits. So we'll go from the Schloss boss to the boss, I guess. This is the Dirt Trackin 75, and the 44J is the head of the Dirt Trackin Sim Racing League. Lap number 1 will go on the board this time. And the mark to beat is a 24.90. That's awfully good. Have you gotten to rip any laps on the sim? Are you allowed anywhere near the fun equipment?
Yeah, actually, a few months ago we did, and I actually ran a practice for Venom, and I was racing with like John Kay, and I think Matt Schlosser and some other guys, like Luke Carver, and they were actually judging and telling Joshua that I was faster than him. So that made me feel proud.
Okay. Well, that's good. You know, Venom has been threatening for years to do a better halves race. So it sounds like you're off to a good start in that regard. So
Oh yeah.
something tells me that some of the better halves, as much as they are the better halves, maybe they'll struggle a little bit on track. So you might have the edge on that.
Exactly. I mean, I think I've got a good shot.
There you go. James Lehman's opening lap, second quickest, but is still about 2/10 off the pace set by Joshua Monachek. Lehman, the winner of round 1 in Knoxville. Of course, Joshua Monachek, the winner last week at I-55. We take a week off for something, I don't know. But we'll be back at Bristol in 2 weeks' time. We'll see if either one of these drivers can double up here this evening. It does sound like potentially we're going to be losing James Lehman. He's due for surgery next week, per his comments on last night's broadcast with Max V. So we're sending James the best. I know he wants to go out on top with a win here this evening. Came very close to winning last night in a Max V at Martinsville. A couple of drivers making their Dirt 200 special debuts this evening. One of them is a Wednesday night daredevil, Zach Amsbacher. He and his teammate both, Tom Monheimis, are in the lobby for the first time. Amsbacher's opening lap, 25:28. Good enough for P5 at the moment. And he should be the last driver to post a qualifying lap unless somebody sneaks into the session here late. We'll roll to the heats with 15 drivers. Everybody's first lap has been the quick lap thus far. And that is not the case with Amsbacher. He improves, but not enough to improve his position. He goes 5th fastest, so that is where he will be set up for the heat races here momentarily. As we got about a minute left in qualifying, for some reason my chat is messed up on my sidebar. I'm getting the handles and not the actual names. So I see I'm Mr. Ant87. I'm not 100% sure who that is. It could be Ant Meeperson. So hello to whoever you are. And some guy named Joshua Monachek 6145 is also in the chat, and he says Dirt Truckin'. So we are about to go Dirt Truckin'. As exciting as that is, in about 30 seconds' time. Are you excited to do some a dirt truck watching here this evening? I know you watch a lot of our stuff. Whether or not Joshua's racing, we can always count on the Monachek family to be in the chat. But are you excited to get a little bit different look at it here this evening?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like it's, even though I can see sometimes I'll walk in on Joshua Racing and I get to see that perspective, but this one is completely different and I'm just so excited.
All right, with that, it's time for the heat racing grid. It looks like we're going to have 2 heat races here this evening. 8 drivers in the first heat, and this is how they will roll to the green. Now, you see Joshua Monachek there on the pole. He will get credited with the quick time in qualifying, but a league rule is that the winner of the feature has to take an EOL in the heat race. So Monachek will actually be starting in the 8th position here, but we'll call him out like he is on the pole here. Tom Monheimis from Cornwall in the United Kingdom joining us here early in the morning, the top of the morning, to driver 007. Row number 2, Zach Amsbacher will start in the inside of row number 2. Chad Ball to his outside, also making his Dirt 200 special debut here this evening in truck number 607. Stephen C. Thompson in the 24 truck to the inside of Tristan Lewis, another driver making their debut here this evening. And row number 4 will be Josh Hagee on the inside of Joey Kirk, 2 drivers in the thick of the points battle here as the full-time drivers thus far in the Dirt 200 special. Drivers are rolling. Want to say hello to Garrett Rainey as well, who is back manning the controls in race control. And, oh yeah, I always forget. You do 2 pace laps here. This is the biggest track that we're going to go to in the Dirt 200 special. But any track that is a mile or rather less than a mile, you have to do 2 pace laps at. It just feels kind of unnecessary because this is a big track, 3/4 of a mile. You know, we're spoiled in Illinois because we have 2 dirt miles, and they're the only 2 left in the country. But they don't really make them much bigger than a half mile. All right, what are his chances? We know he's fast, but he's got to be all the way at the back of the field here. What does he got?
You know, I'm biased because it is my husband. I would, as the wife, I would like to say, oh yeah, he's gonna get through them all. But if I have to, I'm taking myself out of that position, and I'm just gonna. I think he can do it. It would just be if he can get around everybody and nobody. If anyone blocks him, then he's just got to move him out of the way.
I think there'll be plenty of moving and shaking here as we are underway into turn number 3. They go. That is Tristan Lewis going all the way up to the wall there in 3 and 4. And Arani Matacek is up to 6. Tom Monheim is winner with the Daredevil Series in his debut a few weeks ago, showing the way. Steven C. Thompson up into the wall. Thompson, winner of the Dirt Trackin feature on Wednesday night at I-55 in the Pro Late Model. He beat Joshua Matacek for that honor, but Joshua is rocking and rolling already into the top 5, looking to solidify 4th as he gets around Joey Kirk. Monheim is still leading. Oh, little contact there from Kirk on Matacek's way by. He'll cut to the inside now of Josh Heggie looking for 3rd. All the way down to the bottom of the track. This is a fresh track, but it is not going to refresh anymore. It is going to be used up by the end of the night here. 7 laps to go. Matacek from the tail up to 3rd. Now to the inside of Zach Amspacher. 2-second lead for Tom Monheim is even if Matacek could get clear relatively quickly here. That is a lot of ground to have to make up. Look at that slider for Kirk. Right buttoned up in front of Heggie. So Kirk will take 4th as Matacek now is cleared, and it is 2.1 seconds up to the heat race leader. We go from the shortest track last week to the biggest track this week. It is quite the difference.
I would definitely say so.
We'll jump further back. Zach Amspacher now under fire. Joey Kirk quickly up down to the 3rd position. Amspacher back to 4th with Josh Heggie right behind. But Amspacher now going to look back to the inside here. Looking for the crossover, almost had it out of 4, but good drive off here for Kirk. Kirk is going to swing it up and into the wall, really trying to get the power down. And Amspacher doing a nice job, is back into 3rd. Kirk now with Josh Heggie to contend with. And I hate to say it, Joshua Matacek is losing time here to Tom Monheim, the Brit. Looking rock solid up front, 2.4 second advantage. Driving the Wonder Bread machine. Illinois green waving at the stripe, 2 to go. Look back quickly at Kirk now and Josh Heggie. Heggie around the outside will reclaim 4th. So Kirk was in 3rd, now drops back to 5th. There's 1 lap to go for Tom Monheim. Quite an impressive debut in his first heat race here with the Dirt 200 Special. Last time we saw him on the channel, he was wheeling the Lotus 79 to victory at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Now he will turn around and win his heat race here in the USA Dirt Track. Bonheimis wins it. Monacek from 8th to 2nd. Zach Amspacher will finish in 3rd. Joey Kirk in the 4th position. Josh Heggie in 5th. Tristan Lewis in 6th. Chad Ball just got through on Stephen C. Thompson, who had some damage from getting up into the wall earlier. Ball will finish in 7th. Stephen C. Thompson in 8th. I know it wasn't a heat race win, but it was an awfully impressive drive through the field for the 44J of Joshua Monacek. Can't be too displeased with that.
No, definitely not.
So we'll see what he has here coming up when we get him back on track after a while for tonight's 75-lap feature. That's plenty of time to make up an extra couple of positions.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get a look at the starting lineup here for the second and final heat race of the night. We don't need a B main. I don't think it's going to make us run it, though. We'll wait and see. Regardless, it is your Knoxville feature winner, James Lehman, who will lead the field to grain in the Maximum Velocity Racing League Chevy Silverado. Truck number 50 flanked to the outside by our friend from Serbia in truck number 106. That is Mladen Lakovic. Row 2 on the inside, it is the now 3-time Daredevil Series champion, James Watson. The winner at Bathurst on Wednesday night. He'll start in 3rd, with Colin McDonough in the 613, lining up to his outside. The boss man, the Schloss boss, the silent assassin, Matt Schlosser in truck number 400, starts in P5. Greg Johnson, our Canadian friend, in truck number 150, will start in the 6th spot. Gary Clark in the 7th and final starting position in truck number 8. Clicking a bunch of buttons and nothing is working like I want it to. That's always fun, isn't it?
It's always incredible.
So one more lap under pacing here as we say hello to Robin Monacek in the chat. It's weird that I haven't called your name out yet as being in the chat, but I also don't need to because you're here.
That's true.
It's
I know,
pretty surreal.
I'm sitting here waiting for you to call out my name. I'm like, I'm actually sitting here with you, so there is no need.
Did you tell Robin that this was happening, by the way?
No, I didn't tell anybody.
There you go. So, surprise.
Surprise.
And a happy Thanksgiving to you as well, Robin. Thanks for stopping in, as always. 7 drivers ready to go. 10 laps of distance for our second and final heat race of the night. James Lehman and Mladen Lakovic on the front row. And we are underway. Ooh, Mladen spinning the tires there big time. Got that outside line all checked up. James Watson will take advantage, and he is through to second. Schlosser will get underneath the 3-time Daredevil Series champion. Schlosser finished runner-up to Watson on Wednesday night and runs in 3rd behind him as Watson absolutely cranking it in there. Fanned out nearly 3 wide. Lakovic up to pace now. I'm sure we'll be trying to get back up into the top 3. And Schlosser really sending it in there. Let's watch these drivers work the wheel. I mean, he's turning the steering wheel a full rotation. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
It's like he's trying to back into a parking spot. This thing's single-filed out for now. Lakovic, after a sluggish start. Oh, and speaking of sluggish starts, our overlays are not working. Right on cue. So get rid of those for the time being. This will be lap 4 on the board this time. Lakovic now under fire from Colin McDonough. Switched up the paint scheme just a little bit on that truck. 613 Chevy Silverado. Watson is cutting into Lehman's lead just a little bit. It's 1 second for the two Jameses. Another second behind Watson is Schlosser. Schlosser with his hands full now with Lakovic to the inside. Coming to the halfway mark of heat race number 2. As McDonough out of shape there. Out of turn 4. He's got now Greg Johnson to the inside. And just as I said, Watson was catching Lehman. Well, Lehman is now pulling away. 2.5 seconds clear of Watson. We'll see if that trend continues, or if Watson can find something, or if Lehman will make a mistake. It seemed like Lehman is good at this dirt track racing thing. Oh, Johnson, wow!
Ooh.
Up the track and slams into McDonough. Eager to get after it, but unfortunately that is going to send Johnson to the tail end, and he's going to go for the opening down the backstretch and try and get off the track. I haven't seen anybody do that before. That was in under green. That was pretty funny. It's unfortunate for Johnson though.
At least he tried.
Yes, absolutely. Overlay still not really working, but that is correct. We do have 2 laps to go here in the heat race, and it is still Lehman leading Watson by 1.5 seconds. Watson also 1.5 seconds clear of Matt Schlosser in third. Milan Lakovic is in 4th spot. Gary Clark is up to 5th now. Colin McDonough, after the contact, back to 6th. One lap to go. Clark will have his work cut out for him, trying to fend off McDonough, who won the B-Main last week at I-55. Down in the rough stuff down on the bottom of the track. Checkered flag is waving at the stripe for James Lehman. We'll take yet another heat race victory. Start on the front row for tonight's AMA. James Watson in 2nd. Matt Schlosser will finish in 3rd. Milan Lakovic in 4th. And Colin McDonough will pass Gary Clark here on the final lap to move into 5th. Clark in 6th, and Greg Johnson, a DNF, will finish in the 7th and final position here in the heat race. With that, preliminary action is over. We'll step aside here for just a couple of minutes and come back with tonight's starting lineup in the Dirt Trackin 75 from USA International. It's the Dirt 200 special on Turn 200.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
presentation.
Back to the USA International. It's the Dirt Trackin 75. A-Main is on the way. Tommy Cook and Bailey Monachek with us here this evening. I know Joshua has ambitions to at least at some point next year get back to the track. Are nights like this enough to sort of hold you over? Do you miss nights at the dirt track?
You know, honestly, I really do. Sometimes we'll go help a friend that he actually does dirt racing, and I do miss it a lot, but then sometimes I don't because of how late at night they can go, especially if you're going into the fall and winter when it gets cold at night.
Definitely. Well, hopefully everybody is nice and warm and snug as a bug, and we'll definitely be over plenty early here, as it is time to roll into tonight's feature grid. Let's go race it. Dirt Trackin 75 on the way at USA International, and it is your winner of heat race number 1 from Cornwall in the United Kingdom, driving truck number 007, the Chevy Silverado of Tom Monheim, lining up to his outside the winner at Knoxville in round number 1 of the season out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina in the Maximum Velocity Racing League. Number 50, that is James Lehman in the Chevy Silverado. Row 2 on the inside, last week's winner at the Schrader Showdown at I-55, hailing out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi in the Stage A machine number 44J Chevy Silverado, that is Joshua Monachek. He was outside the 3-time Daredevil Series champion out of California, the Team Watson Racing setups number 39 Ford F-150, that is James Watson starting in spot number 4. Row 3 on the inside, in truck number 22, Zach Amspacher will start in the 5th position, lining up to his outside. It is the boss of the whole darn thing out of Frederick, Maryland in truck number 400. That is Matt Schlosser. Row 3 on the inside, Joey Kirk in truck number 37, lining up to his outside out of Serbia. That is Milan Lankovic in truck number 106. Row 4, Josh Hagee on the inside of the 613 of Colin McDonough. We'll round out your top 10 starters. Tristan Lewis starts in the 11th position to the inside of Gary Clark. Row number 6 is Chad Ball on the inside of Greg Johnson. Stephen C. Thompson will round out tonight's 15-truck starting lineup. Quick buzz of the weather conditions. Don't pay attention to the track temperatures because we are, after all, racing on dirt and mud. But ambient temperature of 74 degrees. Pretty cool Florida night here. Here at the now defunct current site of an Amazon warehouse, USA International. Very excited, or rather very happy that this is preserved on iRacing for all of time. It's a very unique asphalt racing venue that iRacing decided in their infinite wisdom just to fake throw dirt on top of. And it is a really interesting challenge compared to what else is out there on the sim. I know all eyes in the booth are on this driver right here, the 44J, Joshua Monachek, who will start on the inside of row number 2 on a mission to claim his 2nd victory in a row. Tom Monheimus and James Lehman are a formidable duo. It's Monheimus, Lehman, Monachek, and Watson. For 75 laps, they are cocked, locked, and ready to rock at USA International. Green flag. Bumpy start into turn number 1. Monachek is to the inside of Lehman here. They go side by side down the back straightaway. Monheim is leading the charge into turn number 3. Your 2 feature winners battling for 2nd. Nearly fanned out 3 wide behind them. Amspacher loose there on the bottom, and that is Joey Kirk. That was nearly looking for a header to the inside wall. As did Joshua just lag out? Hopefully that doesn't mean that Bailey is lagged out as well. No, there's Joshua. Okay, we're back. And he is in solo 2nd now. Tom Monheim leads the way. Just checking to see if you're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, good.
I was trying to see if he was lagging out. I was like, oh no.
That was going to be awkward if you stayed in and he went. But not to worry, Monachek is hard at work here. Really wrapping the inside right down to the inside wall. Has to check up. Tom Monheim is, as he should, not leaving much room down there. I mean, down into the grass. Really trying to hang it to the inside here. Lehman is hanging with the top three, as this is a mad scramble behind them. Schlosser in fifth, and they are, stacking up and nearly going to crash there. Still banging doors. Kirk and Amspacher, oh my goodness, they're 4 wide for just a second. Gary Clark is in here, and he tags Amspacher. And Amspacher goes around, and the caution is out for the first time tonight. That was a quick descent through the field for Zach Amspacher, who started in the 5th position, now is in dead last. The good news for him, he won't have much damage, but he'll certainly have, I don't know, he'll have a lot of work to do to clear this one from his memory. I mean, look at this. This is just, it's just dirt track racing is what it is.
That's right.
There's Lakovic. Shuts the door and then some. Still making contact. Kirk is loose. Amspacher really just trying to straighten himself out on Joey Kirk. 3 wide, 3 wide. And then Clark is not trying to do that, but hits a bump there on the inside that basically straightens him out and pushes him right into Zach Amspacher. So just a carnival of contact. Garrett Rainey, our race controller, saying that everybody was wrecked and then all of a sudden they weren't. And then they were wrecked anyway, which is true.
That makes sense to me.
Yep. It was a Bruin, and then it happened. So caution laps do count. I know we didn't point that out at I-55 last week, and didn't get a chance to in Knoxville since it ran caution-free. Caution laps counting here. First caution of the night. 75 laps around USA is going to be, a decent chunk of time. It's going to be a little bit over half an hour for the feature. With a couple of cautions in the mix here, I don't think we're done with the yellow laundry yet, as Tom Monheimis will take the inside. Love the Ricky Bobby energy from across the pond. That is, he may love Fig Newtons, but that sticker is not quite as dangerous as the one across Ricky Bobby's windshield. And that's probably good for everybody.
You're probably right.
See if anybody can engage the slingshot here. Monheim is the control. Truck fires. We're back underway. Matichek with Lehman to the inside as, Schlosser way too shallow into the corner there and chops his own nose off the pit wall. He'll have big-time damage and probably some wheel damage. Matichek clear of Lehman. Lehman will venture up to the top side of the track as Matichek is right back down to the bottom, trying to get through on Tom Monheimis. And out 3 wide again, Schlosser with the damage, and Colin McDonough just did the exact same thing. Everybody trying to take it as shallow as possible into turn number 1. Monheim is now in the high middle. You can see the slick line developing here. Right around the bottom of the track. There'll be a little pocket of moisture where he's putting his left side tires, but Joshua, last week at I-55, says he was aiming for the slick. That won't be the case here tonight, but there's still plenty of track to work with here. 12 laps on the board this time. Issue further back for Tristan Lewis and Milan Lakovic. think we're going to stay green as they're both still in motion. Monacek to the outside. Monheim is keeping it tight to the door. Good momentum here down the straightaway and still able to find some real estate up top. Even at the stripe, and don't look now, but here is James Lehman onto the scene. Joey Kirk just got past James Watson to move into the fifth position. And they continue to battle now as Monacek is through to the lead. Good stuff for the 44J. Patience prevailing as Monheim is up the track. The bottom is starting to go away. We've seen Joshua awfully patient many a time, especially on the dirt. Is he as patient away from the car and away from the sim as he is sometimes in the car?
Definitely, but and his dad and I would still joke around about this. When he did real life racing, we would tell him patience. we would just say patience, because he would get so impatient with people and try to run up on them. And finally, he figured it out, kind of. Sometimes I think he still struggles, but he's getting there.
I think I've seen that switch flip a couple of times. Not very many, but just a couple.
Yeah.
He decides patience is out. That's always fun. So lots of battling here. A little bit further back, this is 5th, 6th, and 7th. Chad Ball has quietly slipped up to moved up to the 4th position. Kirk, I guess a slider right on the nose of the 7 of Heggie. Heggie now with Watson underneath, and Watson is clear, so that's a 2-spot swing for Josh Heggie. 5th back to 7th. Zach Imspacker was the caution last time around. He's battling for 10th now with Matt Schlosser. You can see that damage there for Schlosser. He is, I'm sure, has something wrong with his truck. That was a really hard shot. Battling for 2nd, Monheim is desperately trying to hang on. Lehman in 3rd will be acutely aware of how quickly... Well, that isn't Chad Ball. That's the 99 of Tristan Lewis, who they've just lapped. I was going to say, that truck is coming up quick, but he's actually going the other direction. So Lehman not much concerned with what's going on behind him, contrary to what I was about to say. But he's still working really hard to try and get through here on Monheim. Pointed out, though, Monheim is putting in some good laps. Last time around was quicker than the race leader. Monacek coming up on Milan Lankovic in the 106. And he's going back down to the bottom of the track here. Goodness gracious. That was... Milan doing what he can to stay out of the way, but that was drastic. These two have flipped lines. Monacek on the bottom. Monheim is on the top. As this track continues to get a little bit run in. Oh, that was Chad Ball on the inside wall. Was in 4th. Now is going to back it out into traffic. Still green, though. I was just saying Kirk was going to catch Chad Ball, but that was more than catching. Let's take a quick look at it here. I mean, we've seen this time and time again. Unfortunately for Ball, it's just going to hook here on the inside wall. Luckily, enough space there where the caution didn't need to be thrown. I'm sure Chad would have liked to have seen the caution. But he might get one still here at some point. Greg Johnson to the inside of Josh Heggie, looking for 6th. Johnson, remember, crashed in the heat race, so he's had quite a bit of work to get up to the 7th position now, challenging for 6th. Tristan Lewis there in the 00, scored as the 99. Interrupt this battle for the moment. So it's sort of a bad news, good news thing in the long run here for Joshua. In terms of the points championship, the bad news is he missed a race. Of course, I think you would argue, and I would argue as well. He missed the race for a good reason, though.
He did miss it for a good reason.
As long as you had a good night, anyway.
Oh, definitely.
So, I felt bad because I'm pretty sure your guys' anniversary was actually on the night of a Max V race. And I wish you would have told me because I would have given him the night off. But
well, it was on a Sunday, actually.
Oh, okay.
So he was okay.
Oh, we got a caution. Josh Heggie. Well, I don't feel quite as bad then. And Greg Johnson backwards. Something tells me these two have gotten back together. Let's take a look at it here. So they just had Milan Lakovic in front of them, and that is the 106 sort of in the fray here. Oh, there's Colin McDonough. And McDonough's going to send it to the inside of the 150 through lap traffic. So McDonough trying to get out of line of Lakovic. That really doesn't affect things all that much. And Greg just, slides from the middle to the top, not clear of Heggie. And almost the exact same spot where he ended up in the heat race, although he doesn't try and pull it off the track towards the Porta-Johns there.
At least he learned the first time.
Yeah, that's true. Matt Schlosser, I would imagine, is going to get some damage repaired. You cannot change tires or add fuel. It's not like you're going to get a penalty if you do that. You literally cannot do it. So this is solely to get damage fixed. So back to what I was saying. Of course, Monachek missed a race for good reason at Knoxville. James Lehman won that race, and Lehman has a comfortable lead. Of course, Monachek had great points last week at I-55, won the race, won his heat, and got the fastest lap, led every single lap, so got a bunch of bonus points. The unfortunate good news is that James Lehman, if he's able to race at all, sounds like he will not be racing on Friday nights, will be is scheduled for surgery the day before Thanksgiving next week. So he will more than likely drop out of the championship hunt. Now, that's the driver I think Joshua was the most worried about. But he's still a little bit further back. I think 6th in the standing coming into tonight. Not a guarantee that he will make up all those points on the rest of the drivers in the field. Joey Kirk would inherit the points lead if Lehman were to drop out. We're talking about the championship. We still got a race to go here, though. Lap 31 on the board. And the dirt track at 75. Monachek leads him. Monheim is with Lehman to the inside. Joey Kirk is right here. Monheim and Lehman go side by side. Now James will tuck in line and look for a big run down low. Monheim is right up to the wall as they get stacked up behind Joey Kirk. Now Lehman on the outside. Monheim is to the inside. Monacek continues to lead. Taking in all the sights and sounds of the NASCAR trucks on the dirt track. Amesbacher and Johnson going side by side as they do often on Monday nights for the Special Stage Pro Truck Series. I know you like your husband to get the most screen time possible, but, you know, he doesn't make it very easy on himself when he just pulls out to a 1 second gap early on in the run here.
I know. It's,
Gotta tell him to be worse sometimes. And he'll get on TV and for you.
And see, I tell him, I'm like, you've got to give other people a chance. and he's like, I know, but I don't think he's quite processed that. So it's a work in progress.
I mean, a late race caution could really turn it on its head. I'm just more looking out for you, you know. Because on
That's
a typical
true.
night when you're not hanging out up here with me, you'd be asking, well, where is he? It's like, well, he's in his own zip code right now.
Like sometimes after the live streams will end, he will come to me and be like, was I on TV? I'm like, no, because you were so far ahead.
Oh, Lehman and Monheim is all the way up in the fluff there. I mean, this track surface is starting to take a little bit of a pounding here. As is Lehman's right side door, and so is Monheim's right door. Good run back up through the field here for Amesbacher after a tumultuous start to the race. Challenging for 6 to the inside of Heggie. Heggie into the wall. As here's a challenge for 2nd. Monheim is trying to catfish it down low, but Lehman with a good run from the top. As Monacek a little bit hung up there in lap traffic, and all of a sudden, here comes Lehman and Monheim. Just a little hitch in the giddy up there. Monacek trying to keep some distance between Lehman and Monheim. As we got an issue for Greg Johnson, it looks like still green for now. Johnson is stopped on the front stretch. So we'll go back to the battle for 2nd. Is Johnson going to tow back to the pits? Quick peek back at Josh Heggie and Colin McDonough as they go for 7th. This is Heggie's spot. McDonough trying to take it away. Chad Ball, remember, was running in the 4th position, got spun around. So he is on the charge. We'll try and reclaim some spots. He's got good pace. Stephen T. Thompson right behind him. Monacek, Lehman, Monheim is pretty much almost nose to tail, at least they were. Lehman on this top side is getting good runs. Let's watch him work the wheel. As, nope, we're not going to get to. Caution is out. It's Josh Hagee with a problem. He is backwards out of turn number 4. And that is Colin McDonough, who looked to be around as well. Saying maybe Tristan Lewis was involved in this one. Lewis a lap down. Lewis, on the power, just loops it right in front of Heggie. Nowhere for Heggie to go. That's Stephen C. Thompson. And a spin to avoid, as we say in the business. Attaboy for the 613. So Heggie really gets the worst of it. We'll have a little bit of damage. Not that that is going to impact the driving of this truck too much, but it will also cost him multiple spots. So he's now back to 11th. Mladen Lakovic in the 12th spot. More damage repair underway for Stephen C. Thompson and Colin McDonough. Did you have to wrench on the car? Did Joshua ever employ you for a crew member or maybe even the crew chief?
Actually, yeah, they I was with real life racing, I was his social media manager.
Okay.
And I was, I guess you could say, crew chief, or he named me vice president.
All right.
But I was like, y'all have got the car. Y'all do what you need to do. I'll just be here, take the pictures, and approve your social media post.
I mean, that's good delegation. I could see why you were the head of the operation there.
Yeah.
I mean, not quite a late race restart, but certainly we're over the hump here. I would imagine you're getting a little bit antsy up here. Is Monachek going to take the outside?
It's definitely something trying to see what he's about to do, because you never know with him.
We were talking him up about pulling away, but Lehman is definitely keeping him honest here, and this is what we've been wanting to see. Didn't really get to see it at I-55. But these two going head-to-head for the race win. Joshua Monachek on the outside, the control car. James Lehman on the inside. We are back underway. Monheimus and Kirk are side by side for third. As Lehman hits the rut there down low. Up the track he goes, and Monachek around the outside will reclaim the top spot. And Lehman, with help from Joey Kirk, goes around. They continue to stack up. McDonough and Heggie, Stephen C. Thompson. And Lehman will be a little hot after that one. We'll see where this comes in. Kirk is back in 4th right now. Oh, and that was actually not Kirk. They're both driving Wonder Bread trucks, for crying out loud. That was Tom Monheimus. And that one makes a little bit more sense. I'm going to say, Joey Kirk is going to have to come from way back for that one. Monheimus up the track into the left rear quarter panel and tags Lehman. Dunna's been right on the scene of a couple of these. Let's go kickpot cam here, as Matt Williamson would say. Right on board. Incoming 50 truck. Ooh, aim for the gap. Little contact from Heggie behind, but really no harm, no foul. As Lehman is in to get the damage looked at. There's a chance he calls it a night. I don't know. I don't know about that. In the melee, though, Joey Kirk might have gotten through to second. Monheim is right back to where he was in third. Zach Amsbacher, Tom Monheim's teammate, will now be up in the fourth position. James Watson and Chad Ball on row number 3. Well, that was... Oh, I hear some chatter. Are you getting some insider information there?
He's saying that he likes the Wonder Bread. The Wonder Bread truck. From what I'm hearing.
Well, that's good because there are 2 of them.
Yeah.
I was going to
So
say, right now he doesn't really have a choice. He has to like the Wonder Bread.
Yeah.
He will fire and get clear pretty quickly. 25 laps to go. Joey Kirk hot on the case. Monheim and Amsbacher fanning out. They'll nearly be 3 wide there for second as Monachek with a good getaway. Monheim is trying to challenge for second. Kirk sends it in, but slides up. Doors open underneath. Amsbacher going to look for a big drive. Might try for a double cross here. They're 3 wide for second. Slider there from Monheim is getting his elbows out. But it's a 2-for-1 for Zach Amsbacher. Amsbacher to second. No, Monheim is pulling back ahead on the outside. Nearly 3 wide. Nearly 4 as Kirk is hooked into the outside wall. Keeps it pointed in the right direction. I don't know how. We're still green. Chad Ball is now up to third. Amsbacher was just in second. Now he's back to fourth. As Tom Monheim is in second. And it's a 1.1 second lead for Joshua Monachek. Good comeback drive for Chad Ball. Watson planting the back of that truck into the outside wall as he tries to hang on to fifth. Joey Kirk is trying to bust back through the field here. So is James Lehman. Lehman in the mix with 21 to go. Trying to at least get into the top 5. As we got a problem, and that is Chad Ball for the second time on the inside of turns 1 and 2. Still green, but that is Ball from third down to 11th. It puts Zach Amsbacher back on the podium. Amsbacher with some distance back to Watson, Lehman, and Kirk. These trucks are just fishtailing down the straightaways. As James Lehman is clear on Joey Kirk, move Lehman back to fifth. As Kirk this time actually will give him a shot from behind. As he continues to try and fight back, Lehman not giving him much room. Kirk drives it deep and too deep into the outside wall. Watson is into the wall as well, but Lehman can't quite capitalize. Garrett Rainey says, commentator occurs. Yeah, like I've ever done that before. Name one time. Now, hopefully for you, you don't get a commentator curse. Because I fear the driver that you would curse would be the one that you don't want to happen to.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, man, Lehman just absolutely flushes it on the outside wall. But it's going to work, I guess, as long as he didn't damage the truck too bad. Lehman up to 4th. Watson will continue to go at it here with 15 laps to go. 1.7 second lead for Joshua Matichek over Tom Monheimus. Zach Gamspacher is 2 seconds ahead of this absolute melee. Pretty good battle going on behind these three as well. Stephen C. Thompson and Colin McDonough. Too bad we haven't got to call out Stephen C. Thompson's name much here this evening. He's holding the steady wheel as always, as that was a short slider there for Kirk. Lehman probably equally frustrated as he is having fun right now. These three are absolutely throwing it all at the wall, literally. Here's Thompson, catfishing his way into the mix. Oh, man. 5 trucks under a blanket. Watson, Lehman, Thompson, McDonough, 5th to 8th. Fourth to 8th, I guess. That would make 5. Kirk is trying to drive away, though, and leave these 4.
With those 4, it's more of a fight than a race
Yeah,
to me.
I think so. I don't know how tactical these drivers are being. They're just kind of road raging right now. Lehman probably is road raging. I can't imagine he's too happy.
On dirt, though, I feel like you have to have more road rage than anything.
Yeah. You definitely have to be kind of nuts to do this in real life. You have to have a different gear that you can go into. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm a sprint car guy, but late models are equally competitive, and also a lot more late models nationwide than there are sprint cars, I feel like. Both of them are highly competitive, though, and to be good, you really have to have something.
Yeah. I love sprint cars, though. I mean, they're always just so fun to watch, and they always put on a really good show.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that. Man, attaboy. Stephen C. Thompson. He beat Joshua Matichek in a late model. That is not something a lot of drivers can say they've done on iRacing. And now he is putting a whipping on some of the best this series has to offer. Stephen C. Thompson up to 4th. Carves up the absolute calamity in front of him. 8 laps to go. Thompson up to 4th. Problems for Chad Ball again, this time down the front stretch. Man, he'll want this one back. Still green. And Matichek still leading by 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. Monheimus in 2nd, Amspacher in 3rd. Not enough, and I get to bust that one out. Gotta throw it out every now and again. McDonough trying to reel in Watson here for the 7th spot. Again, a reminder, we're off for next week. We'll hope to see everybody back at Bristol in 2 weeks' time. It's about the only battle on the track for position. Things have calmed down pretty considerably. Even Watson is finding his way away from Colin McDonough here. Hello to Insert Coin Racing. I'm assuming that's Jan Van Leer. Not 100% sure, though. And hello. You did just make it in time. Lap traffic around Joshua Matichek. It's Josh Hagee and Gary Clark. Matichek is 2.7 seconds still clear of Tom Monheimers. Hagee goes high. Illinois Green is waving here in Florida with 2 laps to go. Matichek wants to make it another lap to make this one official. To the white flag we go. One more circuit to make it 2 in a row for Joshua Matichek in the Dirt 200 Special. For what will be his 3rd overall special stage victory as he approaches the boss man. 2 in a row in the Dirt 200 Special for the 44J. Joshua Matichek wins the Dirt Trackin 75 at USA. An impressive debut for Tom Monheimus to take home the runner-up spot, and also impressive in his debut, Zach Emspacher will take home 3rd. Stephen T. Thompson was the fastest driver on track the last handful of laps. He finishes in 4th. Joey Kirk rounds out the top 5 after a wild sequence at the end of this race. I know it was the outcome you were hoping for. Is it more satisfying to see it up here in the booth? I guess, quote-unquote, in person?
It really is. It really is. I absolutely loved it.
Glad you had a good time, and I'm sure this makes it just that much better.
Oh, definitely.
Hard for me not to be biased, you know. He's my workmate on Thursday nights.
That's true.
He also did help put this whole thing together. Myself and Matt Schlosser and Joshua have put in a decent amount of work. Matichek gets to reap the rewards of it here this evening.
He's really putting on a show, isn't he?
I would say he's hamming it up big time.
I can hear him pressing the gas pedal right now.
I don't know if it's going to stop, to be honest with you. Oh, there we go. Got to park it in victory lane.
There he
and
goes.
still do the burnouts.
Yep. That's him.
No such thing as too much celebrating after 75 laps on the dirt track.
That's true.
I mean, we're going to let it play out. Until he blows this
Until
motor
he
and
runs
until
out
he
of
decides
gas.
that he's done, yeah, or runs out of gas. Oh, there goes the
Yeah.
motor. Okay.
There it goes.
All right, let's get to the full finishing rundown here. After 75 laps, Joshua Matichek with his 2nd win in a row. We'll talk to him, and we'll hopefully talk to Tom Monheim and Zach Emspacher as well. as they will make up your podium here this evening. Impressive run, plus 11 for Stephen C. Thompson. Big points night for him. He'll finish in 4th. Joey Kirk in 5th. James Lehman will come home in 6th. James Watson in 7th. Colin McDonough in 8th. Matt Schlosser in 9th. Josh Heggie in the 10th position. 11th for Gary Clark, and I believe DNFs from here on out. Chad Ball in 12th. Milan Makovic in 13th. 14th for Tristan Lewis and Greg Johnson in spot number 15. We'll hit the Fade Oot on the music. I'll go ahead and interview these two. Unless you've got questions for them, then feel free to hop in. Otherwise, we'll save you for Joshua if you're all right with that.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right. Let's go ahead and bring in your third place finisher then. Good to talk to Zach Amspacher here this evening. And was excited to see you in the lineup. And then we'll bring it home on the podium as well. Welcome in and congrats on a nice run.
Wow, how's it going, Tommy? I did not expect to be talking to you tonight. This is the first time I've ever done something like this. And I am sweated out. I was definitely looking forward to lap 75 there, I can tell you that.
I bet. I mean, well, I guess if this is... I mean, we know you're a driver with talent. We see in the special stage Monday circuit, also a daredevil as well. But, I mean, talk about the learning curve for trying to do something like this, especially for this long.
The good thing is I got the throttle control part down, and that helps a ton here, especially with the track evolution throughout the night. But boy, other than that, it's just I'm not used to chasing grooves around, so you had to kind of learn to. Well, and the good thing is I was finding a lot of pace down low. I think a lot of guys skipped over that. They moved up with that groove, but there was still a little bit of grip down at the bottom, especially like exit of 2 and exit of 4. So I was able to utilize that. But yeah, it's a lot to learn, man. The track really, I mean, dirt road tracks evolve a lot throughout the race too, but this is something different. It'll really widen out. It's just, yeah, I'm trying to learn as much as I can right now. It's crazy.
Well, it's one thing to start up front and stay up front, but you didn't have the luxury of getting to do that. You found your way to the back pretty quickly and had to pick your way back up into the 3rd position. I mean, that was a heck of a drive for somebody learning on the fly.
Yeah, and that's where I think that inside line really helped, because a lot of guys were just getting all bottlenecked trying to run the top once it wore out about halfway through the race, but I was really able to get some good exits on the bottom, plus a good drive in too a lot of times, and yeah, that was something that I learned pretty quick and definitely helped me get back towards the front.
Well, good stuff here tonight, Grant. Glad to get to talk to you on a Friday. Congratulations. Let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, big shout out to TG Power Sports as always for supporting me and my race team. Shout out to my teammate Tom. He finished ahead of me in 2nd. This is also his first time doing something like this. Shout out to you guys for putting on an awesome broadcast. Looking forward to watching it back. And shout out to Matt Schlosser as always for putting on a good league here and everybody else involved.
Alrighty, partner. Thanks for the time here tonight. Thanks for racing with us. Hope to see you again in a couple weeks. And good stuff here tonight. And we'll talk to you again here soon.
Thanks, Tommy. See you.
All right, let's go to your runner-up finisher now. Tom Monheim is in booth 200. Last time we talked to you, you were a winner in a Lotus 79. A little bit different vibe here this evening, but still an outstanding result in your debut. Welcome and congratulations.
Yeah, cheers, Tommy.
I mean, we talked to Zach about having to learn this kind of situation on the fly. You won your heat race, so you got some time to yourself at the front of the field. What translates from, I guess, a fresh track and a heat race where you don't really have to learn much to being very quickly in the thick of it in the feature?
Yeah, I mean, the track wore out so fast. Like I was talking to Josh, it just dies instantly. So, maybe the first like 15 laps, I could translate some of what I learned from the heat race, but after that, it's just finding out what's best when, trying to follow Josh because he's quick. But yeah.
I mean, what can you pick up from? I mean, you were leading Joshua there for a while. We saw you kind of moving around the lines, maybe trying to keep it on the bottom. I mean, what did you learn from being ahead of Joshua and also trailing him there?
I mean, from being ahead, I just learned that I want to keep him behind because he's crazy fast, and then when I dropped behind him, I was kind of thinking, where's he running? When can I run this inside? When am I going to want to turn in mid corner? Am I going to want to run the higher line? But I was kind of going off that, and then also what I felt comfortable with. I wasn't running the bottom line every time because sometimes I would go and it would almost slip up into the wall, and I was like, all right, I'll just run the outside and be safer.
Well, hopefully we get you for a couple more of these because it was an awfully promising start to your Friday night career here in the Dirt 200 special. Thanks for staying up late with us, and let's get some shout-outs in once again before we let you go.
Yeah, shout out Benner Racing, shout out TG Power Sports, shout out you Tommy on the broadcast, Matt for popping this league, and then Zach, my teammate, P3 on his debut as well is a pretty solid result.
Well, thanks for racing with us here tonight. Congrats on the P2. Cheers, and we'll hopefully talk to you again here soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Cheers, Tommy.
Alrighty. Is the man of the hour, 2 in a row for Joshua Monacek. And, you know, the EOL to start things off, it really is an odd wrinkle on paper, but it sure serves up some drama as you had your work cut out for you here in this feature, and you were not able to drive away with it really right until the end of this one.
Yeah, it was a blast. That's all I can say. USA is such an odd track for these trucks to be on. I was just speaking with Tom and Zach, and they, being the road course guys, the dirt road guys, they're not used to. He said they're not used to chasing the groove this much, and the groove moved around quite a bit tonight. But the way that these trucks rotate into the corner, they don't have any side bites. So once you get it sideways, you kind of just got to chase the slide until it settles down, and you lose speed to be able to come off the corner. So it's definitely a unique track to put these trucks on. But from what I could tell, it made for some great racing. And the heat race coming through, congrats to Tom on a solid heat race win and the P2. It was a blast racing him and James throughout the first half of the race as well, for sure.
All right, I think we're going to open the floor up to questions from anybody with media credentials. Does anybody have a question for the race winner here tonight?
I think I do.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Hey, so, I know I'm your biggest fan, but, I'm also Gary Clark's biggest fan. So when are you going to let him have a chance to win one night?
Now, this is a great question.
I mean, Gary's a tank. I was talking to Gary the other night about his wrist injury, and we were just discussing about how especially in the dirt tracking league, he runs great. He's on pace. Then about halfway through, his hand starts to really, really get him, and then once you make that first mistake. But I mean, Gary's a tank. I really enjoy racing with Gary here, dirt tracking and in Venom. Gary, he shows up without fail to every event that he's invited to. So I mean, he's got the makings.
Any questions from anybody else? No. Okay.
I don't know. I don't think so.
None from the crowd.
None from the crowd. Well, I mean, this was a treat here tonight. The Modachek takeover of Booth 200. Of course, you're for anybody that I guess wouldn't know, you're the voice of Thursday nights with me for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. Bailey always in the chat. Sounds like this was a surprise for Robin as well. So hopefully Robin enjoyed this as well, as it was a fun night for me here in the booth. Thanks to both of you for being up here. And we're not going to let Bailey go yet, but Joshua, you could get your usual shout-outs in once again as a second-time winner for the season here. Yeah,
appreciate it. I mean, shout out to my wife for watching, but it sounds like she did a little bit more than that tonight. Shout out to my parents, as always, for watching. Shout out to you, Tommy, and Matt Slosser for being on board and jumping right in it and helping out alongside myself to make this happen. It's a very unique series, to say the least, but I think we've had a great turnout for the first half of the season. We're excited to see what the back half.
Absolutely, partner. Enjoy the Thanksgiving break, and we'll hopefully be talking to you again at Bristol. We'll definitely be talking to you again before that, though.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
All right, Bailey, thank you so much for coming up and hanging out with us here this evening in Booth 200. Did you have a good time?
Amazing time. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. You've been threatening to do this for a while now, so hopefully it lived up to the expectations. You did a fabulous job But maybe we could get you up here for another one at some point down the stretch here. But thanks for hanging out with us here this evening.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun, and I hope I can do this again.
Absolutely. Let's send the folks home happy here. Thanks to everybody that was hanging out in the chat with us. Ant Meeperson, to Garrett Rainey, Joshua Matacek, Robin Matacek, and Datacek also hanging out with us. And Jan Van Leer hopping in there late as well. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully everybody had a good time here tonight at the USA Dirt Track. More racing action only Tuesday next week. The Venom Truck Series regular season finale from Indianapolis. See you at 8:15 p.m. Eastern time for that one. Racing back in 2 weeks' time. We will have the Venom Truck Series chase opener, followed by the season finale for the Daredevil Series at Atlanta 08. That will lead us into the Max Racing's Home Designs Truck Series penultimate race of their season at Daytona. And then the Dirt 200 Special will return for the Banana Bucks Bash at Bristol, I think is what it's called. Not 100% sure. But Dirt Bristol on the menu for the Dirt 200 Special here in 2 weeks' time. Hopefully everybody has a fun and safe Thanksgiving. We'll see you right back here in a couple weeks' time. Thank you to everybody with Special Stage. Thank you to Matt Schlosser. Thank you to Joshua Matacek. Thank you to my partner tonight, Bailey Matacek. That's all we got for you here tonight. Until we meet again from the USA International Dirt Track, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long and congratulations to tonight's winner, Joshua Matacek. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.